I'm going to go through all this stuff on the table and put together an extremely capable EDC that's under $100. I guess you could call it a budget EDC if you want to. What's going on, everybody? This is Lamar with MFin Research, and today I'm going to put together an EDC that's under $100 that's great for beginners and those that are experienced with EDC alike. So why would you want a budget EDC? I think there's really two reasons that come to mind. One is really that's all the budget you have, be it $100, $200, $50. You want to get the most that you can to get the best bang for your buck. And two, you're not necessarily sure if you want to carry a particular thing or have a particular dedicated EDC loadout. So by not spending that much money, you can see if the things really interest you, you can try it out and not have too big of a cost expense. I'd rather spend $50 on a knife, realize I don't like carrying knives, than 500 bucks. So a few ground rules before we dig in. One, I'm gonna try to show you a couple options at a couple different price points along with some of the things that I'm carrying right now. Two, after I make a selection, I'll put the running total on the screen so you can keep a track of that to see how well we do as far as keeping close to $100. Three, some items come in multi-packs, so I'm only gonna use the unit cost. That way it makes things simpler, makes things cleaner, and trying to figure out how much things are gonna be for this dedicated kit. If you disagree with that method, let me know in the comments. Four, I'm gonna include any discounts and price savings, coupons and things like that that I can find at the time into the price total. Of course, I'll have all the links to the gear in the description. I'll also link the videos that I reference in the video as well in the description, so you can go there for that as well if you want more info. And last up, I'm not counting phones or AirPods or anything like that, so they're pretty much a given, so I'm not gonna worry about that. So at the end, we'll go over the grand total, and stay tuned after that because I've got a couple bonus items if you want to go a little deeper down the rabbit hole. All right, so I think one of the things that's a foundational item of your EDC is the knife that you pick. This is the Civivi Altus that I've had for almost 2 years now, and some people would consider this a budget knife. I do too, but to keep it our budget goal, I've been really digging utility knives lately, and so I think I'm going to go with one of those. So comparing two that I have, there's a ton out there, but we're just gonna go with these two. This is the Gerber EAB Light, and this is the Gerber Prybrit. This one is nice, small and compact. I use this in my travel kit. I've got a trip coming up soon, so there's no blade in here right now. And you can also use this one as a money clip, or you can clip it to your belt if you want to. This guy right here, the Gerber Prybrit, I had this somewhat recently. And a couple things, it's got a wire cutter right there. It's got a utility blade in here. There's a little tape on there from earlier today. Bottle opener, I actually used that for the first time last night just to see how well it works. And then it's got a pry on this side. I've used this side as a flathead a couple times. And I think it gives you a lot of functionality in a budget package. It's a little heavy when compared to this one. And in some respects, what you get, even this one. But for that, I still think it's a good idea. So I would say for a budget knife, keeping that goal is going to be one of these two. For the blade, for a budget, I'd have to go with the Gerber Prybrit. I just think it gives you a little bit more functionality. The price is close with the Prybrit being a little bit higher. And as we said before, I'll put the price on the screen. And since this is the first item, this is where we'll start the price and we'll just hold that throughout. We'll update it on the next item. So now let's talk about some pins for your EDC. I think pins are important. I personally use them just to take a note here and there. If you have to sign something out of the restaurant or you just have to sign your name somewhere, a pin is important to have and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So with that, I've been digging Bastion pins lately. This is my bolt action Bastion. I lost the black one, so I had to pick up another one. So now I have the red one. I think it was about 30 bucks. You can find them for 30 to 40 bucks, sometimes less. And then this guy right here is also a Bastion and it's a fountain pen. And I've been digging this for my journaling and my daily thoughts and things like that. So I kind of like a fountain pen for that. It just makes me feel like I'm writing important stuff, even though my handwriting is terrible. I just enjoy a fountain pen. And I think this was the stainless steel, and I think I caught it for 20 bucks. So still doesn't break the bank for either option. And you can go up, the sky is the limit on those guys. But for the budget option right now, we're going to focus on these three right here. This one right here is an EDC staple. This is the only color I had in the house right now, and it's the Pilot G2. It's in blue. I would rather have black, but this is what I had right now. So we'll talk about this one. So this guy's another one. This is the Zebra F301. I like this one, the metal construction. It's nice and lightweight. It feels sturdy, especially for the price. Check out my shorts where I talked about some of these guys in Costco on sale. Definitely would change the unit price on these guys if you're interested in those. And last up, I've only got 2 of these. I gave one to my wife and then one is for me. And these are just the Sharpie gel pens. I actually like how this guy writes, especially for the price. So I think if you're talking budget, for me anyway, I feel a little more comfortable with these two, trying to stick to our price goals. Ultimately, if I had to pick any pen on the table, my favorite pen is the fountain pen, followed by the bolt action pen. But for the sake of getting into the budget category, I'm gonna have to pick the Zebra F301. It's small, it's compact, it's got the knurling, so it helps get a good purchase on it when you're trying to write. It almost disappears in your pocket or your pouch or wherever you want to put it. So this is the guy I'm going to go with for this selection. All right, next up, I think you should ditch using your phone light as a flashlight. You should get yourself a dedicated flashlight, and what you'll see on the table is 4 representations of quality lights that I think you can pick up for a not so big price. One thing I will say is the Robivon, I don't have another one, but it's the A3. Not this one, this is the copper version, but it's still the same form factor. And the more recent ones have USB-C, where this one doesn't. Whenever I upgrade, I'll get one that's USB-C capable. So out of the list right here, I've got, like I said, the Robivon representing the A3. I've got this one that you've seen in a few videos. It's a budget powerhouse to me. It's the Lumitop EDC 01. It's the only AAA powered flashlight in the bunch, but I think it works out well. It's got a nice footprint, it's durable, and I'm really digging it. This one's a little bit bigger. It's the only right angle flashlight that I have. I did a video on this. The folks at Worko sent me this guy out for a review. It's the HD10. It's a lot of functionality, but it's really grown on me and it's starting to be one of my favorite flashlights, especially using the low lumen moonlight mode late at night. And then this guy, this is the Olight IR2 Pro. I got it in the orange. I might throw this in for some kind of October carry this month. I haven't gotten into color theme carries or anything yet, but maybe one day. It just stays clipped on my backpack right now. So out of these 4, I would pick the HD10. I'm gonna stay away from that one just because if I take the beginner in mind, this is a little bit as far as features and remembering the click patterns and things like that. For a beginner, you might just want to pick up and go. So out of that one's out. I think for me, it would be out of the IR2 Pro or the Lumitop EDC 01. I thought about going smaller with the IR2 Pro, but I think the thing that drew me to the Lumitop EDC 01 is that it's AAA, and for a beginner, I feel like a AAA flashlight is the way to go. Yes, you can plug it in, but if you have a backup battery with you in your kit, you won't have to worry about this one ever if it goes out on you, versus this one, if it goes out, you forget to charge it, you're kind of out of luck until you put some juice into it. This one, I think, is going to be the way to go for this kit today. All right, so if we're talking multi-tools, I've got 4 right here that I've got in my possession. Out of the 4, you've got this one right here is my Super Tinker by Victorinox. This is the Gerber Dime. This is a Swiss Tech 6-in-1, and this is the Robivon Mini Sailor that I've been using lately. This one I think is the cheapest out of the bunch, but we don't want that one. The Gerber Dime, this one's popular. See tons of videos on this one. I actually did a video comparing these two not too long ago, but I'm not a fan, like I've said before, on the Gerber Dime, so we're not going to use that one either. So really, I think it comes out of getting something like the Next Tool or getting something like the Victorinox. I think if you can find a Victorinox on sale, this was the Super Tinker. I think I got mine for 30 bucks at the time. I checked today, they're closer to 40, 50 bucks. If you can catch them on sale, definitely go this route or go to one of the other models. I think this is a good first budget quality EDC tool, but I don't want to deal with the price fluctuations. I do like the functionality of this one better, but I like the size and the form factor of the Next Tool better. That's the multi-tool that's going to be in our EDC kit that we're putting together today. It's the Mini Sailor. I got this one in blue. Another thing is certain colors are marked cheaper than others. I particularly don't care what color most things are, so if I can get a couple bucks off by going with a different color, I'm gonna take it, and so that's what I did with the blue right here. All right, as far as notebooks go, I've got two on the table. This is the Field Notes. It needs no introduction. It's slim, it's got 48 pages, it's durable. I've had a bunch of them. This one I think is the last new one I have left. I usually keep one in my cigar EDC kit. I've got one on my desk and I keep one in my bags. So this is a good idea. A lot of people would recommend the Write in the Rain notebooks. I can't really speak to those because I haven't had one. I haven't tried one. Honestly, for me, I don't see many situations where that Write in the Rain capability is going to be important to me. So I haven't picked one up yet. If you guys think it's important and a must-have, let me know and maybe I give one a shot. But for me, right now, the budget pick, the budget king, if you will. Shout out to Surviving the Daily. There was a video on his channel where he talked about these guys too. I picked mine up about the same time as he did the video, and these little guys come in from Walmart. There's tons of pages in here. There's a 3-pack, and I think this is just the way to go for a budget starter EDC notebook. That way you can get in here, you can tear pages out, you can do whatever you need, take lots of notes, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. And that's actually where I went. And if you want to upgrade, if you want nicer paper or something like that, you can look at that in the future. All right, so this option is for our key organizer solution. As far as loose keys go, I really only have one, and my key fob is usually somewhere else. So I don't really have a lot of a need for an Orbit or one of those key organizers. I think they're cool, but they're just not for me. So with that, I'm gonna say that for this budget, we're gonna go with the Night Eyes S Beaner. It's lockable and you can clip it to your belt loop, you can clip it in your bag, you have multiple options. What I will say, and I'll warn you, I know, the keys are exposed. The locks to these keys, I don't even think exist anymore, so it's really not that big of a deal, so don't worry about that, folks. But these are the keys. The Harley actually does still exist, so that's the only key on here that does still work to something. But this would be the key solution that I would use. This represents, say if I were taking the bike out, I would just have something minimal like this. All right, so right now, this is my current wallet setup. I've got the Gundeck EDC Ranger wallet. This usually goes with me on my minimal carry. So I've got my driver's license and a card in there, and I keep my key fob in here and a couple dollars. But if I need all my cards, if I'm going out with the family or we got a dentist appointment or a doctor's appointment or something like that, or a Target run, since my Target red card's in here, I'll take this guy along with this one too. And so that's usually my wallet setup. So you can go this guy. I think as I have this one kitted out is 40 bucks. This one, I don't remember how much this one was, but you'll find these. This is one of those Ridge style wallets. Not a Ridge itself, but it has the same form factor. So if you want to try Ridge, go for that. If you want to see on the budget factor, I go with that. Not a huge fan of this style, but it came with the kit that I got for a giveaway. So it is what it is. It works for me. So what we're going to focus on right now is these three. As I mentioned before in the knife section, if you chose to go with the Gerber EAB Lite, you can use this guy as a little money clip. And you can just put your cards right there. It's a nice combined minimal solution. It makes your wallet price zero essentially, and it has your knife right there. This one is not what I'm talking about, but it's just a representation. I used to, for some years, carry the financial tool from Night Eyes. It's basically just like this. It's a little bigger. It's one of those multi-tool card size type things, and it just goes on the cards like this. It fits about the shape of the card, so this one's a little small, and then it has an elastic band that goes around there, and that'll hold the cards in place. But what I did find is after about a year using it, it did fail on me. So that's something to keep in mind if you're worried about that. Also, if you really want to go low budget, you can go binder clip. Tried that for like 2 days, wasn't really a fan of that. Or some people just use the straight Ranger band as a wallet. That's something to do as well. If you got some of those laying around, that's not too expensive. Or you can pick up a bunch of them for, I think, around 10 bucks. So that's something to go with as well. Last up, you can go with something like this. If you remember in my micro EDC option, I had this guy, this little EDC pouch that I found on Amazon. It serves as a wallet. You can put stuff there. You can put a couple cards there if you need to. And you can put a couple cards in here if you need to. and it's got a key loop. So looking at these options and the two options that aren't on the table, I would have to go with the pouch. I think given a value of price and what you get, I think this is a good way to go. It's a good way to keep your cards protected. It's not RFID if that's important to you, but I think this gives you a little bit more functionality. A good hank or bandana or something like that is a good option to keep in your EDC. This one right here is one that my wife made for me. It's got Black Panther on one side, and it's got microfiber on the other side. Mighty Hanks, Gundeck EDC. There's a lot of makers. Etsy, you can find stuff like this all over the place for things like that. I really like those. I think those are cool. These usually run in the 20 and on up price range. But my issue with them, and I'll be honest with you, I've got two of them. And other than the cleaning the screen real quick or cleaning glasses real quick, I'm not going to use it because I don't want it to get dirty. I don't want it to get messed up, and I want to keep it pristine like that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So because of that, I wouldn't recommend something like this to start out with. These options right here are where I think you should spend your focus on. So first up, I've just got a couple bandanas that I've collected over the years. So this is Indian Motorcycle that I got from the motorcycle show, Oak and Eden from a whiskey event, and then I think this one came from Dave & Buster's. So I have three different options to show that just pay attention while you're out and about, different events, different things, different activities. You can get bandanas for free. So this could be something that you add into your EDC kit that's about $0. So free would be good, especially for an initial EDC. And another option is this guy right here. This is the dry ski. It's closer in size to those that you see as far as the microfiber cloths. It's a little more absorbent. And my primary use for a bandana is to wipe my head when it gets hot. Bald head over here. So when it gets hot, I gotta wipe the sweat. So that's my primary use for a bandana or a microfiber cloth. And I find that this just works better. The more you wash it, the softer it'll get. And it still is absorbent. They come in a pack of 5. So that's definitely a good value. These are actually bigger by a long shot. So if size is a concern for you, I definitely recommend something like that. But if I can only pick one, or if there can be only one in this case, I'm gonna have to go with the dry ski. And as far as battery banks go, I've had these two guys. You've seen them in kits before. This one is my 3-in-1 because it's got multiple charging ports, so it gives you options and availability. And then this one is thin. The one unique thing about both of them is you can have your charging cable incorporated inside it, so that is a good thing. And as far as which one to pick, I think it depends for you guys what you need in your EDC kit. If you need, say, like for me, my work phone is an iPhone 12 and it still uses Lightning, but I still need USB-C from time to time for my personal cell phone. So this one would be more important to me if I'm taking both phones. But on a day-to-day, if I want a more smaller configuration, something like this is definitely more beneficial for me. So take those two factors into consideration and make your decision. I could go either way depending on how I feel. The price is about the same in both of them. There are also some battery banks from Anchor and a couple other folks out there that are small and have a small footprint or meet that budget criteria, probably $20 and below. But for me, what I'm gonna use it for today, anyway, I'm gonna go smaller and go with this guy right here. So a quick add-on since we're down in the budget and we've got a little space is I thought I'd just add a USB charging cable. This guy is really small, it's really compact, it comes in a 2-pack, and what I like about it is it's got pretty high data transfer speed. If you're transferring files back and forth from your computer or your tablet or something like that, this is beneficial for that, and you can keep your stuff charged, and if you need to charge your battery bank or something like that, it gives you that capability as well. So this was a nice little bonus add-in that I put in the kit since I was coming in, since it looks like I'm coming in pretty good on the budget. So one thing that I think is important is you need a pouch or something to hold all this stuff in once you get to it. And I think the EDC pouch / organizer is a good way to keep all your stuff organized. So this one right here is the Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch Plus. And then this one is the Alpaca Hub Pouch. Had this one forever. Couple years on this guy, and this one I've had for a good little while now, a few months, and I like them both for different reasons. This is probably my favorite pouch of all the pouches I own. But the thing is, we're trying to stay budget. This one is like 50 bucks. This one is like 30 bucks. Yes, you can find them on sale. You can find these on the secondhand market for a reasonable price. You could find these on the secondhand market for an arm and a leg or a kidney. So, not gonna go with these. What I'd recommend on the EDC pouch front is maybe something from Vaporade. Vaporade, I think, is my go-to for budget EDC pouches. I've seen a few of them. I've had the VE22, and I did a video on that. I don't have one with me right now. And then I've also done the VE13. It's a little small for what we're trying to do today, so I'm not gonna include that. But for today, I had to go back to the original. This is more of a pocket organizer than a pouch, but this is the VE01, and this is good and budget friendly. This is the first pouch I started with, even before the alpaca. So I think it'd be fun to go right back to where I started. This is gonna give you a lot of functionality. And now what we're gonna do when we come back is show what it looks like all together. Hey, I hope you're liking the video so far. Don't forget to like, comment with any gear reviews you'd like to see in the future, and subscribe to MFin Research. Any support helps grow my little small corner of the EDC community. Now back to the video. The price for everything at the date of this video is $99.52, 48 cents under my $100 goal. Yes, I know if you look at the unit prices, it might be a little higher if you go for the total package price, but if you only need one, it makes sense to only use the cost of one. You can always split the price with a friend if you need to. I like this because it's a lot of functionality, doesn't take up a lot of space. You can put one of the pouches in your back pocket or your front pocket or your cargo pocket, depending on what you're wearing, and you can clip the other one with your keys, and you've got everything together in a nice setup. Then as time goes on, you may want to make changes. You can always use the kit that we put together today as a foundation and mix and match as you see fit. As you try new gear, your taste might change, your needs might change, and you might want to upgrade items and try new categories. Changes in your day-to-day life are always going to bring out more changes. For example, becoming a dad really changed what I carried every day. And as I promised, a few other recommendations in a couple other categories. So if you want to hold all that stuff, and like me, I don't like putting stuff in my pockets, I want to recommend a few sling bags out there. So first, you can go with TomTok. I've done a couple reviews of some TomTok slings on the larger side. They've also got some smaller ones that go from like 1.5 liters to about really 12 liters. So you've got your range, and you've got under 100 bucks, so they're very affordable, good quality, and I'd be happy to recommend them. Not long ago, I did a review for a sling from Sea Tactical. I really like what they've got. I've joined their Facebook community just to keep an eye on drops and something else that may catch my eye in the future, but they've got tons of great slings that are affordable prices. They try different colors, they try different materials, so that may be something you want to try as well. If you can deal with the shipping, it's not a bad choice. And last, on Amazon, I found them with the Rough Enough tote. I've done one of their slings. They've got a couple other slings. Don't go to their website, go to Amazon. The prices are a little bit better and it's a little easier to navigate, but Rough Enough, they make good quality, affordable slings with good materials as well. But then if you want something bigger and you've got a laptop or a jacket or a big water bottle or something like that, you're gonna want a backpack. And what I recommend is find the brands that you like, and instead of going secondhand, go clearance. There's many good options if you check out some of the manufacturers in their clearance section. So my 511 Elder RT that I talked about a little bit when I first got my introduction into 511, I got that for $70. It was a little bit more than half off. And then I've got the REI commuter bag. I got it for $40, which is again more than half off. So definitely can save a lot of money going with clearance if you don't need the latest and greatest. So those are my recommendations for a budget EDC with the gear that I have in the house that I've been using over the past few years. Let me know what you would recommend. Let me know some things that you would try. Some of these recommendations are directly based on what some of you have told me in the comments, and I really appreciate that. Keep that going. I'm definitely loving those things. Definitely will try some of that stuff in the future, so keep those going. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Check out some of the other videos on the screen. This is Lamar with MFin Research, and I'm out.